Yep. No way.
I got one. Look, you went for it. You went for it. It's blue and cold season. What are you doing? One single playing card. And this would have been a different trick had we waited until tomorrow morning. The ace of clubs with your name on it, just like that. I'll give it back to you later. Give her one last round of applause. I know you can be louder than that. You want to see some more? So yeah! I knew I wanted to be a magician. Oh, wait till everyone's quiet. I knew I wanted to be a magician when I was 8 years old, and my family took me to see Lance Burton perform at the Monte Carlo in Las Vegas. I'll never forget the magic trick that he did. He took a bottle and a glass, and he made them switch places on the table. You guys think I can do it now? Let's see what. You guys think I can do it now? All right. Are you ready? I'm going to make this bottle and the glass switch places. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Hard is to make them go back. Hey! Some of you don't look impressed. We'll have to do it again, but this time, ladies and gentlemen, I will not touch the bottle and I won't touch the glass. That's why I have the two tubes. Tube number 1 will always go over the glass, and tube number 2 will always go over the. But when you're working with breakables, you see, like bottles and glasses, you gotta keep one behind the curtain just in case you break. Yeah, that's why they go back there. So, ladies and gentlemen, we make the bottle and the glass switch places. Everyone say change. Change. And like I said earlier, the easy part is to make them switch places, and we did a really good job of that. Really good job. But the hard part is to make them go back. Woo! Yeah! Woo! Some of you are coffee drinkers hitting your foot. Like, did you see that? Because you didn't have your coffee this morning. But ladies and gentlemen, tube number 1 over the glass, 2 minutes for the bottle. You step your fingers, bottle becomes the glass. When the glass becomes the bottle. That's the easy part. The hard part is to make them switch places and go back. Thank you. Thank you. We'll do it again. Tube number 1. The glass becomes the bottle. And the bottle becomes the glass. Watch carefully. Bottle, glass. Too many bottles. You're working with breakables. Keep an extra one behind the curtain. Just in case when they switch places, you need an extra one carefully hidden away from the glass. Bottle. Some bottle stays over here. Some people are not a glass for a bottle. Not a bottle for a glass. Oh my God! I don't have that long with you guys, so when we get back to the big presentation, we can talk a little bit more about it. But just freeze frame for just a moment, just a reminder, and just a quick little, we're going to dive into it just real quick. When we're talking about mental health here, a lot of you have already had the talk about drugs and alcohol and how to say no to that, and why this is bad for you. For those of you who don't know, you get caught drinking underage or with drugs underage, you get something called an MIP. It's called a minor in possession, and that makes you ineligible for college scholarships. So let me remind you that you could be the best football player or wrestler or lacrosse player in Oxford, but if you get a charge like that, guess what? When your resume hits on the side of that college desk, they go, oh, wow, look, oh, and they rip it up and they throw it in the garbage because somebody took their career more seriously. And I can tell you that you get some kind of charge like this, all of the hard work that you put into your sports or your academic scholarships was for nothing. They will throw your resume away. So please, don't do something stupid like that. Don't choose this kind of route. See, when something traumatic happens or when something stressful happens in somebody's life, we choose ways to cope with it. And we have positive ways that we cope with it. We have really negative ways that we cope with it. Positive ways to deal with your stress and to deal with your anxiety and your anger are exercising, correct diet, art, and positive things, even hanging out with friends. But the negative ways that some people cope with stress, unfortunately, is crime, it's drugs, and it's alcohol. And what that does is that creates a very dangerous route for you. For those of you who don't know, when you get stressed, your brain pumps this chemical called cortisol into your blood. This is science. This is something that we can't ignore. It's not just, oh, it's an opinion. No, this actually happens. You get stressed out, your brain pumps cortisol into your blood. You start to get gray hairs. In fact, they can measure the amount of stress inside of your hair. They can measure the amount of cortisol in your hair. So when people say, you know what, I've dealt with a bad day by drinking, you know what they do? When they start drinking, all that alcohol does is mask the chemical in your blood. And then the next day, it just makes it worse. It is not the way to deal with things. Now, I don't want to go too far into this. We only have 20 minutes, and I want to give you the full lecture when I come back in April. So that's why I need 2 different adult volunteers. I need 2 teachers to help me out. But hold on 1 second. Those 2 teachers over there. No. Wait. No, sit back down. You 2 shouldn't be talking during the presentation. No, I'm not calling you up. You just were both talking. You stay down there. You stay up there. No, you go. Yeah. You're coming. You stay up there. You stay down there. That's what I do to students who are talking. You guys are talking in the presentation. Sit back down. Everyone go. Whoa. I need 2 adult volunteers. 2 people. Who are getting attention. We can do better than that. Give our 2 volunteers a round of applause. Come on down. Anthony, what's your name? Mrs. Kimmick. And what's your name, sir? Dr. what? Oh, you're a doctor. Oh, man. I regret this immediately. Okay, come on over here. Would you stand right here and face everybody? All right, doctor, this looks about your size, so just give me 1 moment. Y'all know what this is? Ladies and gentlemen, not to worry, Dr. Carmen is not coming there. All right, guys, so this is how it's going to work. We're going to wrap me inside of the straitjacket. We're then going to pick up the 40 feet of chain up off the ground. We're going to circle around me, wrapping it between my elbows and my shoulders, and then padlock. Sound good? Okay, so here's the thing. I'm going to have you put me in the straitjacket, and then you both will take this chain here. You have to lengthen it out, you might have to roll it up. You have to get it between my elbows and my shoulders. However, to make this as exciting as possible, here is a padlock, so you hang on to that end of the rope. And let's get some music going. All right, I'm gonna have to take my microphone off. Would you start on the back?
do that.
The only reason I'm able to pause my music is because I'm Italian. I got a big nose. All right. You guys want to see the escape? Say yeah! All right, let's do it, ladies and gentlemen. We'll count down from 3. I'll count 3. You yell 2, 1, go. Are you ready? Yeah! 3, 2, 1, Ladies and gentlemen, let me regather your attention and reintroduce myself. My name is Anthony Graffito. I'm 23 years old. I'm from Lake Orion, Michigan, and I had a lot of fun so far. We had a shortened time limit today, so I'm excited to return in April to speak to you guys on this very serious topic. When I first walk out on stage or in this gym as a magician, I have a lot of fun performing for you and doing my favorite magic tricks and making some of my favorite jokes. And it's a lot of fun for me. What a lot of people might not understand is that that's just one side of me. It's just one face or an act. It's very easy to put on a smile some days, and it's very easy to rehearse what I'm going to say in front of a group of people. But what hasn't been easy for me is everything that's come before this. When I was 18, I decided to take a chance with my life, and I moved out west. I lived in a car, and I built this presentation by performing on the side of the street. I wanted to educate people about mental health and depression. See, when I was in elementary school, I got bullied so bad that I had to move schools. And it was the first time that I took that out of myself with my mental health issues and self-harm. I went to a private middle school where I learned absolutely nothing about mental health. And then into high school, where I was a wrestler. I wrestled all through high school until my junior year. I'll wait till everyone's quiet. I can see people talking over there. It's very rude. Until I went all the way into high school. My junior year, I was wrestling at a county meet at the Silverdome. I was up by 7 points in the 3rd round, and I chose the down position. When I went to stand up, my opponent picked me up, took me straight back, and slammed me on my head, damaging my head and tearing both of the rotator cuffs in my shoulders. I learned the next day that my injuries were so bad that I would never be able to wrestle again. I learned shortly after that the scholarship that I worked my entire life for would be taken away from me because I was no longer of any worth or value to an organization I dedicated my entire life to. I wrestled year-round. In fact, because I was in Lake Orion during my off-season, I went to the high school to wrestle, the Oxford High School to wrestle on those mats. So this story hits home. At the time, I didn't know how to cope with things. All I knew is that my family was too in debt to pay for college, so in debt that we couldn't pay for our taxes, so I couldn't even get a loan or a grant. Everything in my life seemed to start spiraling out of control, and I didn't know how to cope with it. Because I was a wrestler, my diet was absolutely destroyed. Because my shoulders were torn, my exercise was completely out of the question, and I was an extremely upset and confused teenager. I didn't want to take things out with drugs or alcohol or crime, and I didn't want anyone to know that I was hurting, because I thought that I was a man, when in fact I was just a 16-year-old boy who knew absolutely nothing. So I began to self-harm, to deal with my stress and to deal with my depression. Eventually this got so bad that I tried to end my life. Not once, not twice, but on 3 separate occasions. In each occasion I would see my family walking through the front door to my parents who knew nothing about it, and I would sit in class with my friends who knew nothing about it, teachers, and even classmates. Super awkward. It wasn't until I forgot to come to school with sleeves on one day that my friend did something for me. She went to the counseling office, and she told them what was happening. Where are our school counselors? Could you stand up for a minute? Where they at? Make yourself available. There's 1, there's 2, I think there's a 3rd one somewhere. Oh, there she is, way over there. These are the people that are trained in mental health. See, you can sit back down, you don't have to stand, it's okay. These are the people that are trained in mental health. See, that's the thing. The schools always tell us to have 3 people to go to. But if the first person you go to doesn't know what to do, and they just say, hey, it's just your hormones, so get over it. So you go to the second person, and they say it's just a bad day, or why don't you just try and make it happy? It starts to tumble and make it worse. You need to go to somebody who actually knows what to do about mental health. Your parents might not know what to do, and even though they love you, that doesn't mean they have the best advice for you. When it comes to depression, when it comes to anxiety, when it comes to symptoms of mental illness, go to somebody who has a degree, somebody who knows how to counsel you, to a doctor, to a therapist, or a psychiatrist. I can tell you that if somebody hadn't spoken up for me in a time that I couldn't speak up for myself, I wouldn't be here in front of you to tell you this. I would never have traveled the country or opened for the biggest names in the entertainment industry. I never would have graduated high school. In therapy, I learned a very valuable set of lessons. And that's why I get wrapped in a straitjacket and chain to tell you. A lot of people think that there's absolutely no way out. But let's say that this jacket was a metaphor for something that would hold you down, not physically, but mentally. It's the same thing. If you look at a straitjacket and 40 feet of chain as the absolute end, of course you'll never get out. In fact, right now, what you're staring at is a complete illusion. The first step I learned in therapy was to take a deep breath and to let it out. And that dropped all that extra weight. Let me tell you right now, most of the problems, most of the things that you think weigh you down are an illusion. Take a deep breath. Let them go. Then you can work on the bigger picture, which is getting things behind you, putting them in the past. It's easier said than done, which puts you in the dark a lot. That makes you look back at life. But I can tell you, you can't look back at life. There's one thing you can never do, it's get that time back. You have to keep looking forward and let the little things slide by.
Oh my God. Ew.
Because when things get most painful, that's how you know you're almost out. Please take it from me. I'm a magician, and I can tell you that I've never fooled a person in my whole life. What I mean by that is these problems don't multiply themselves or appear out of thin air, but what I do is I use the tools around me to accomplish something that you might think is impossible. So let me remind you this. Magic is the oldest presentation tool that we have, and it's one of the oldest art forms. We know this because the oldest dated hieroglyphs are magicians performing. Magic is a reminder that we have the tools around us to accomplish what we think is impossible. And if you can hear my voice right now, if you're in this room, let me tell you that you have the tools around you to accomplish anything that you set your mind to. I'm 23, I'm a homeowner, I love what I get to do for a living, and I'm a magician. So please don't let anybody in this world tell you that you can't do something. If you can dream it, truly you can do it. Every single day you make a choice. Before I leave, you need to know this. The meaning of magic, the true meaning of magic, is that word that you all know, abracadabra. That word is ancient, it's Aramaic. It's one of the oldest languages we know. Abracadabra means, what I speak is what I create. So please listen carefully. Every single day, the words that you speak create images in people's heads of their self-worth, of your self-worth, and of other people's self-worth. When you use your words to gossip and to spread rumors, you do something. You do negative, horrible things. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can hear my voice, let me remind you that your words are so powerful that they can cause people anxiety and depression. They can make people want to self-harm. And I'm telling you right now that your words are so powerful that they even have the ability to make somebody end their own life. Every single day you make a choice with the words that you speak. And you have a responsibility to use those words
in a mature manner, because I can tell you that people today will remember what you said for the rest of your life. Every single day, use your words for positive reasoning. Use your words to lift people up, to help each other. And as another reminder, yes, if you have nothing good to say nothing at all. Don't spread that into this world. We have too much hate going on, too much negativity going on. So choose positivity and choose to stand up for each other. Before I leave, ladies and gentlemen, if anyone in this room has thoughts of self-harm, has friends that are texting them or telling them they don't feel like they should live anymore, or if you know somebody who's bullying or picking on somebody, you need to tell somebody. Go to a counselor or an adult. And if that adult doesn't do anything, go to another one. Don't settle for people that don't make you happy. Do what's right. And I can tell you that if you guys want to be successful in your future, if you want to do anything great with your life, it's very simple. To be the best person that you can be. To be a person who changes your community and motivates people. All you have to do